Okay, guys, I'll start the lesson now. This is Introduction to CSC. This is, a little more... Okay, you guys let's sit down. This is, I'm just going to be talking about some general stuff like computers, operating system, and the software. And so, the hardware, these are the different...
you can turn off one of them.
These are the different parts of the computer.
Yeah.
The motherboard, you could think of it as the base plate, which connects everything and, making sure that everything working together. The processor is the brain. It's what computes all of the numbers and the input. The RAM is the memory of the computer, but it's like short term. It's only for, stuff that you don't really need to save forever. You could just put in some bunch of numbers there and easily access it. The hard drive and the solid state drive is the storage of data. Hard drives are save data on disks, and solid state uses NAND chips. PSU is the power supply unit. That's where you get the power from. The case is the house, and the graphics card is the painter because it does all the draw calls and everything like that. The motherboard. The motherboard, it looks like this. There's the RAM slots on the left, the RAM slots on the bottom right. You can see they have the little latches. You can you put in the RAM there. The CPU socket, it has a bunch of little holes, and the CPU has a bunch of little prongs, and you match them together and you lock it in. Those are all the ATX, I think. What is it? The PCI slots. The PCI slots are where you could put wireless adapters. You could put graphics cards. That's where you usually put graphics cards. And then like extra USB 3.0 ports, or they have like TV stuff. And then you could see on the top row, you see the USB ports, and that's where you'll on the normal back of a computer, you can see like the USB ports and the audio jacks and everything. That's where that is. And then there's also places where you put the power supply and stuff. This is what the processor looks like. This is the AMD Phenom 2. It's super slow, super cheap. You get it for like $50 or something. You can see on the right how there's like prongs and stuff, and you kind of match it with the bottom right. You can see that arrow. You put that arrow in the socket. You'll see on the socket where you could just line it up, and then you click it in place. It's really nice. RAM, DDR2 and DDR3. These are a different generation. They're coming out with DDR4 soon enough, and that'll be much faster and last longer than DDR3. And also it'll be you could use less and it'll give you more. Hard disk drive and solid state drive. The hard disk drive on the left, there's a disk. It writes the information on it, and whenever you delete something on a computer, it doesn't actually delete it, as the jingle will be able to show you that you could access it pretty easily. And then on the right, those are NAND gates where you can store data. There's been a lot of talk about how solid state drives can't last very long, but it's like several 100,000 rewrites, and that's not going to happen. You're going to change your computer before it breaks the drive. Power supply unit. This one, it provides the power. You can see on the left, there's a bunch of little holes. These are the newer modular power supply units. They're way easier to use because you could just use as many wires as you need. The old ones had just a bunch of wires, and it was a mess. I mean, I built a couple computers, and I'll tell you, modular is way better. It's still a mess, though. Case, the top right, you can see that's where you put the CD drives. Bottom right is where you put all the hard drives and the solid-state drives. Where you see that circle at the top left, that's where you place the motherboard. The motherboard goes vertically, and so there you could put on your graphics cards, and then they'll end up lining up at the back. The graphics card. This is usually a very expensive part of the computer. The higher end ones are going to be really expensive, but they're going to be pretty good. This is ATI was bought by AMD recently, and so that's how AMD got graphics. And their main competitor is NVIDIA, and NVIDIA absolutely crushes it. AMD, I don't know what technology AMD uses, but I know that NVIDIA uses CUDA technology, which allows people could write their own software to utilize the graphics, all the cores.
AMD uses OpenCL, which NVIDIA supports too.
Yeah, and so you could use the CUDA to, make graphics that will brute force something. I don't know.
Yeah, but we'll talk more about these stuff later. That's right. You can use your graphics card to brute force stuff.
And then, yeah, AMD, they recently released Mantle API, which is a competitor to DirectX and OpenGL. That's what Battlefield 4 can use. Okay, now we're going to move on to operating systems. So these are the different types of operating systems. MacOS X, super easy to use. It's the easiest thing in the world to use. They make it for ease of use and stability. Windows, so much software is on Windows that you gotta have a computer that runs Windows, because, or at least a Mac that can port Windows applications, because all the useful programs are on Windows. Linux, it's free. Free is good. Mac OS X, it's easy to use. It just works. It just works. Locked down to Apple computers only. Legally, though. But, you can do a Hackintosh where you modify your desktop to be able to run Mac OS X. I did it before. It was slow, but it was impressive. You just get a lot of kernel crashes, kernel panics, and it's awful. Windows, plenty of software. It's a stable, it's a staple OS. It's staple. And it's universal, but it crashes. You always get, I'm so glad that the Windows 8 blue screen of death is not as frightening. You always, drive gets corrupted all the time. Come on. Linux, it's free. Doesn't cost that much money. It's open source. Technical, it's not very user friendly. You got to know some stuff about computers before you dabble in Linux. Ubuntu looks a lot like OS X, but it also doesn't have that many applications. I'll go into open source later. Okay, here's the software. Freeware, proprietary, and open source. Freeware. This is the stuff that like WinRAR, when it always says, you have 40 days, and then it says, your trial expired, but you can still use it. It just annoys you. It's free. They say you have to pay, but it's free. It installs other unwanted software, so it's like Skype. When you go through the installer, it'll be like, make Bing my, search engine and MSN my homepage. And you're just like, it's awful. And then the worst is when they install toolbars. You get the ass toolbars. I don't even know why they do that. They get money. See, that's the only way they make money. Oh, and then the surveys, you have to take the survey to install the software.
Don't. If you see a software with a survey, please don't download it.
Yeah. Yeah. Those aren't very good.
What's your
You can learn the hard way.
Proprietary. You pay for it. Autodesk Inventor, guys. Stable. Proprietary software is, it's pretty stable. So, and it's high quality, a lot of the time. Adobe Photoshop is the baseline for image editing. You don't have to pay for it, guys. Let's be real here. Open source. It's free. It's fully editable and community driven. This is really high quality software. Blender, GIMP, and VLC, they're very good tools, but they're less user friendly. They're just a little more cluttered and they're confusing. GIMP is never going to be Photoshop. Blender is never going to be 3ds Max. That's just the way it is going to be.
VLC is better than Windows Media.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Fully editable. I know that you can get the source code and change stuff, but I personally don't know how to do that. I just don't. Yeah.
We will teach you how to.
Okay, so here's some resources if you want to learn. Coding resources, Stack Overflow. If you have a question on how to code, Stack Overflow is a great place. GitHub, open source coding. You can set up your repository on there. The New Boston. This guy has a bunch of videos for learning to code. There's C++, C#. He has Java. There's APIs that he does. He has 250 videos on Java, 200 videos on C++. It's really a great place to learn. He's also on YouTube. SourceForge, you can get some software off of there. Fixed by Proximity, if you want to, I don't know if any of you have seen my game, Laser Cat versus the Bees. No?
What?
It's it's this dinky little game where it's a side shooter.
We'll turn it into a CTF challenge.
Yeah, you'll see.
Is it a virus?
It's not a virus.
Okay, cool.
And so, Allegro is a API, a 2D API that you can use. for C++. I mean, it's really easy. The guy has like this great video, this great tutorial on how to, make a 2D game, and that's how I did it, and it was fun for the most part. DirectX API, DirectXtutorial.com. They have they have a few lessons that are free, but then you have to pay to get the other ones, and this is really like the only place. You do have to pay. Like, I don't know how not to pay for it. I mean, you probably can bypass it.
Teach you how to.
I paid for it. I wanted to learn how to use DirectX. And so, I mean, he goes through DirectX 9, DirectX 10, DirectX 11, and 11.1. He hasn't been active very recently, so I don't know what's up with that. It's really like the only place that I found DirectX tutorials. I mean, otherwise there's books. I mean, cyberforensics, sci4.isis.poly.edu. And then I have a bunch of books, guys, if you need any. For I think I've a few Java books. I've learned Java in 21 days. I have C++. I have learning to program games with C++, and then I have this huge Python 2.7.1, I think, book. And so if any of you guys want to learn or a book from me, I'll give it to you, or lend it to you, I should say. Okay, so these are some future lessons. So next week I'm going to do Blender, which is 3D software. I think we're going to start off with, shaping a humanoid. And if we get further from there, adding armatures. Linux, I'm going to be teaching you guys a bit about Linux, and I'm going to bring my phone, I'm going to bring one of my old phones and my tablet, and we'll install Ubuntu on it. Intro to GIMP. GIMP is photo editing. It's useful. It's like Photoshop, but free. Well, Photoshop can be free, I mean, if you try. Blender 2, that will be adding, in Blender 2, we're going to be adding armatures. And with armatures, it's basically a bone. And so you could make, humanoid structures with bones that'll, do whatever they want. And then we'll go into animation there, so you could create keyframes, and then it'll, stitch together it, and then you'll have an animation. I mean, I think I could, in like an hour, I'd be able to, create a humanoid with a very bad, walk. But in Blender 3, we'll add textures to our character, and go more into animation, and then textures. I gotta learn how to do that still. I'm bad at that. Intro to video game design with Unity. The Unity game engine, it's really, it's free, but it has bad support for graphics. Is pretty slow. It's not an Unreal Engine or a Cry engine. There will be, you can get your character from Blender and put him in the game. How would you guys like that?
Can we put canvas or something?
Yeah, you can. You can SCP convert it to something.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. You could use Collada or .obj, .blend, and they convert it to FBX. Video game design 2 in Unity. I think we'll be getting to scripting, which is the Unity game engine uses JavaScript or C# or C# or Boo. The best one is C#. I mean, if you're a web designer and you know JavaScript, then it's easy because it's already there. Scripting, that's the basis for all of the Unity game engine. You just attach scripts to objects. You could create a cube. You attach a script that'll wait for a button press, and then the cube will move 5 meters, something like that. Video game design 2, we could get into some terrain. Unity doesn't handle terrain very well. They have a very poor system for managing terrain. You have to texture everything by hand. There's other software that's better than that. Linux 2, that's where we're gonna do some more technical stuff, commands, learning how to utilize Linux to the best. Intro to WordPress. WordPress is software for your website. So if you ever have a domain, you could put WordPress on it and create a website really quickly. It's super easy. You have a bunch of themes that you can use, and the themes will basically make the website for you, and all you have to do is add content. I think I have 3 websites that I've done. I mean, themes make it easy, so don't worry. Intro to computer hardware. I'll go more into detail for computer hardware So I'll be talking about, graphics cards, how to use them to the best, which ones are the best, chips, computer chips, AMD, Intel, and then building a computer. If we could do a fundraiser or something, or you don't need to build a computer that's really expensive. You could build a computer for like $300, but it'll be dinky and it'll run Minecraft at like 4 FPS. But Minesweeper will get a solid 6 FPS, so don't worry. And building a computer is really, really cool. I'll tell you that right now. And it's really easy. All you really need is a screwdriver and patience. And if you don't have patience, then it gets really frustrating. And you got to make sure your parts work right, because second time it didn't work right in the beginning, but that's all right. June 6th, the goodbyes review there. I think we'll give prizes, and then we'll close our CTF challenges and stuff. And the thing is that next year we'll have a new curriculum altogether, and we were because we were thinking what about next year's people who want to join? Well, we'll create an archive for all this. This is being recorded, and we'll put the PowerPoint and the archive. We'll put the PowerPoint and the video online, so you could access it at any time if you ever forget something. I think I should be able to create the archive over the weekend, and if I don't, it'll be done next week.
Horrible looking one.
It'll be and then I think I'm gonna be able to create a challenge this weekend. It'll be more like a seesaw type challenge. It was VMware. You got the Linux going, right, Nick? Okay, so I just want to know: is there any questions? Anyone want to say anything? Is there anything anyone would want to learn? Yeah. Oh, if you want a book to borrow, just you can tell me which one. Okay, I'll get you that one. Yeah, Spencer?
Yeah, I'm doing that part.
Intro to trolling.
It's a little bit of everything, but I'm doing that, so. Cool.
Nick?
That's my
That's
forte.
legit, yeah.
Actually, we're doing some today.
Any other questions? Does anyone want to learn something else? Because I'm pretty sure we could fit in another lesson somewhere in there if we could scratch a lesson.
Oh, I'm doing that.
Which one?
Bat files, I'm doing that, trolling people.
Oh. Is there anything anyone want to learn? No?
Okay.
This is not everything. Yeah?
Yeah, we will DDoS later, but no. No. Okay.
Okay, yeah, we're good?
Yeah, okay. I'll do my lesson.
I gotta finish the stop.